Imagine you're walking through a forest. It's quiet and sunny. And suddenly, you hear a branch snap in the distance, followed by silence. A bear has caught your scent from 30 kilometers away. It knows everything about you, where you're standing, what you had for breakfast, and how many of you there are. But you know almost nothing about it. Today, we're going to change that. Here are 100 facts about the most recognizable predator on the planet, an animal that both terrifies and fascinates, once worshipped by ancient peoples and continues to astonish scientists to this day. Stay tuned until the end. In the middle of the video, you'll hear something that will completely change your perception of these creatures. Fact 1. There are 8 species of bears on Earth. The brown bear, the polar bear, the American black bear, the Asian black bear, the spectacled bear, the sun bear, the sloth bear, and the giant panda. They are all related, but each has a distinctly different lifestyle. Fact 2. Bears can smell scents from up to 30 kilometers away. Their sense of smell is 7 times more acute than that of a dog. This means that, theoretically, a bear could sniff you out from across the Great Lakes. Fact 3. Despite their lumbering gait and hefty appearance, brown bears can reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour. Usain Bolt, at his peak, ran at a speed of 44 kilometers per hour. A bear would outrun him. Fact 4. Bear cubs are born tiny. Even though a mother bear weighs between 200 and 300 kilograms, a newborn cub weighs only about 500 grams, roughly the same as a stick of butter. This is one of the most striking contrasts in the mammal world. Fact 5. During hibernation, a bear's heart beats just 4 times a minute. In comparison, a resting human has about 60 beats per minute. Breathing also slows down to 1 or 2 breaths per minute. However, a bear can still be awakened. It responds to threats even while in its den. Fact 6. Bears do not eat or drink for 7 to 8 months during hibernation. They carry no food supplies with them. Their bodies rely solely on stored fat, losing up to 1/3 of their weight during this time. Fact 7. The fur of a polar bear appears white on the outside, but each hair is actually transparent and hollow. The skin underneath is black. The black skin absorbs heat, while the transparent fur scatters light, so we perceive its white color. Fact 8. The liver of a polar bear is deadly to humans. It accumulates such high levels of vitamin A that even a mere 100 grams can cause acute poisoning. Polar researchers are aware of this and never eat bear liver. Fact 9. In 2006, a hunter in Canada shot a bear he thought was a polar bear. DNA analysis revealed it was a hybrid of a polar bear and a grizzly. Scientists named it a pizzly. Due to the melting of Arctic ice, the ranges of these 2 species are increasingly overlapping, leading to more hybrids. Fact 10. Bears solve cognitive tasks at a level comparable to that of primates. In experiments at the Auckland Zoo in 2012, bears correctly indicated the necessary images, compared quantities of objects, and recognized themselves in pictures. They solved some tasks where chimpanzees had been given incorrect cues. This particularly astonished me. We often think of bears as strong, but not smart. Yet it turns out this is completely untrue. Fact 11. The largest bear species is the polar bear. Males typically weigh between 400 to 700 kilograms, with a record specimen weighing 1,002 kilograms, which is more than a small car. Fact 12. The smallest bear in the world is the sun bear, or Malayan bear. It stands about 70 centimeters at the shoulder and lives in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia, where it excels at climbing trees. Fact 13. Bears have the longest tongues among predators relative to their body size. The tongue of a sun bear can reach up to 25 centimeters in length, allowing it to reach honey from beehives and larvae from crevices in tree bark. Fact 14. Bears are omnivorous animals. Depending on the season, their diet can consist of up to 90% plant-based food: berries, nuts, roots, and grasses. Meat makes up a smaller portion than is commonly believed. Fact 15. Bear claws do not retract, unlike those of cats. They grow continuously and are used for digging, climbing trees, catching fish, and defense. The claws of a brown bear can reach up to 10 centimeters in length. Fact 16. Bears are excellent swimmers. A brown bear can easily cross rivers several kilometers wide. The polar bear is a true marine swimmer. One female swam non-stop for 650 kilometers from the shores of Alaska to the pack ice, setting a record among terrestrial mammals. A small note that amazed me: that record swim was documented by scientists from an American wildlife organization who tracked her via a GPS collar. She spent 9 days in open water, losing 22% of her weight and her cub. This is a tragic story, but it illustrates how desperate the situation has become for polar bears due to melting ice. Fact 17. The front paws of polar bears are partially webbed. Small webbing between their toes helps them paddle in the water. Their fur is coated in fat and does not get wet, so after a swim, the bear emerges almost dry. Fact 18. Bears can stand on their hind legs and reach a height of 3 meters in this position. They do not stand up to attack. More often, it is a way to get a better view or to smell something interesting. Fact 19. Bears have very sharp eyesight. However, they are colorblind. This is rare among large predators, but their color vision helps them find ripe berries. Fact 20. A bear's hearing is exceptionally developed. They can hear about twice as well as humans and can detect sounds over long distances in dense forests. Now, take a moment. Write in the comments, have you ever seen a bear in the wild or at a zoo? I'm curious how many of you have had that experience. Fact 21. Bears mark their territory by leaving claw scratches on trees. The higher the scratch, the larger the bear. Other bears read these marks like a sign. This is the territory of such a beast. Think twice before entering. Fact 22. Before hibernation, brown bears enter a phase of hyperphagia, a state of insatiable appetite. During this period, they can eat for up to 20 hours a day and gain up to 45 kilograms. Fact 23. A bear either builds or chooses its den itself. This can be a ravine, a dug burrow, a fallen tree, or dense underbrush. Inside, it lines the den with grass, moss, leaves, and branches. A good bear only enters the den when the snow falls. The snowfall hides its tracks. Fact 24. Bear cubs are born during the mother's hibernation. The mother bear does not wake up during the birth. The entire process occurs in a semi-sleep state. The newborns immediately find the nipples and begin to feed. Fact 25. A bear's embryo develops with a delay. This is known as the latent period of pregnancy. The fertilized egg does not attach to the wall of the uterus right away. Development begins only when the bear goes into hibernation. If she hasn't accumulated enough fat, the pregnancy may end on its own. Fact 26. The mother bear raises the cubs alone, without the male. Males play no role in nurturing the offspring, to put it mildly. Some males may attack cubs upon encountering them, so the mother keeps them at a distance. Fact 27. Bear cubs have a long childhood. They stay with their mother for 1.5 to 3 years, depending on the species. During this time, they learn everything: how to search for food, how to build a den, and how to avoid danger. Fact 28. Bears can count. Experiments have shown that they can compare quantities and choose the larger group. This is called numerical cognition, and most animals do not possess it. Fact 29. Bears, surprisingly, have long memories. They remember all the berry patches in their territory, the routes to fish streams, the faces of people, and specific threats. Researchers have noted that a bear that was once startled in a particular spot would avoid it for years. Fact 30. Brown bears use tools. There have been documented cases of bears using sticks or stones to retrieve bait from traps without getting caught themselves. This is known as tool use, a sign of high intelligence. Honestly, when I first read about bear intelligence, I had to verify it with multiple sources. It sounds almost unbelievable for an animal we are accustomed to seeing as a symbol of brute strength. Fact 31. Bears can learn by observing others. Cubs learn from their mother. However, it has also been noted that bears in national parks in the US have watched people open food containers and then repeated the same movements. Fact 32. The panda is the only bear that feeds almost exclusively on one type of food. Up to 99% of its diet consists of bamboo. Despite this, the panda's digestive system is similar to that of a carnivore. It cannot efficiently digest plants. As a result, pandas have to consume up to 20 kilograms of bamboo each day. Fact 33. Nevertheless, pandas are true bears. Debates over their classification have lasted for decades. Scientists have classified the panda as either a raccoon or as belonging to a separate family. Hematological analysis at the end of the 20th century finally have a significant impact on the ecosystem. When bears consume salmon, they transport nutrients from the river to the surrounding forest through their droppings. This fertilization process benefits the growth of plants and trees, creating a richer habitat for various species. Fact 46. The giant panda has a unique diet consisting almost entirely of bamboo. Despite being classified as a carnivore, pandas have adapted to a herbivorous lifestyle, relying on this tough plant for over 99% of their nutrition. Fact 47. Pandas have a special adaptation in their wrist bones, which act like an opposable thumb. This allows them to grasp bamboo stalks with great dexterity, making it easier for them to consume large quantities of their preferred food. Fact 48. The birth rate of giant pandas is quite low, with females usually giving birth to just one cub every 2 years. This slow reproduction rate makes conservation efforts crucial for the survival of the species. Fact 49. The coloration of a panda's fur serves as camouflage in its natural habitat. The black and white pattern helps them blend into the dappled light of the forests where they live, providing protection from predators. Fact 50. Despite their large size, pandas are known for their gentle demeanor. They are generally solitary animals, spending most of their lives alone, but they can be quite playful and exhibit curious behavior when interacting with one another. Now, here's a question for you. Which bear do you think has the best sense of smell? The polar bear, the brown bear, or the grizzly? Leave your answer in the comments and I'll reveal the truth a little later. Bears carry fish deep into the forest, sometimes as much as 300 meters from the river. As the fish decomposes, its remains enrich the soil with nitrogen. Scientists have discovered that trees within the radius of bear feeding sites grow faster. Fact 46. During hibernation, a bear does not urinate or defecate. The metabolic waste is reprocessed by the body. Researchers are studying this mechanism, which could aid in the development of treatments for kidney failure in humans. In simple terms, the bear has solved a problem that medicine has struggled with for several decades, and the answer lies in its DNA. Fact 47. A bear's muscles hardly atrophy during hibernation, even though the animal remains immobile for months. This is also a phenomenon. In humans, muscles weaken rapidly with inactivity. Medical researchers want to understand how this works to help patients facing long-term immobilization. Fact 48. A bear's bones do not lose density during hibernation, despite the complete absence of stress. In humans, bones begin to lose calcium after just a few weeks of bed rest. Understanding this mechanism could revolutionize the treatment of osteoporosis. Fact 49. The body temperature of a bear during hibernation drops only a few degrees to 31 to 35 degrees Celsius. This is markedly different from true hibernation in small animals, where the temperature can drop nearly to zero. This is why scientists refer to a bear's winter sleep as torpor rather than full hibernation. Fact 50. Bears can live up to 30 years in the wild and even longer in captivity. The oldest recorded bear, a Greek brown bear named Andreas, lived for 50 years in a sanctuary. A bear's age is determined by the annual rings in the root of its tooth, much like a tree. So, we are exactly halfway through. The most interesting facts are still to come, I promise. Fact 51. Russia is home to the largest population of brown bears in the world, estimated between 100,000 to 120,000 individuals. In comparison, there are fewer than 15,000 across all of Europe. Fact 52. The Kamchatka bear is the largest subspecies of the brown bear. Some males weigh over 600 kilograms, comparable to a polar bear. The abundance of salmon makes Kamchatka bears some of the largest terrestrial predators on the planet. Fact 53. Bears in Russia do sometimes wander into cities and towns. This is especially common in Kamchatka, Sakhalin, and Siberia. The usual reason is the smell of food near garbage containers. Dozens of such incidents are recorded every year. Fact 54. A bear that behaves as a predator towards humans is called a shatun. This is a bear that has not entered hibernation due to hunger or injury. In winter, it is doubly dangerous, being both hungry and disoriented. Fact 55. Bears in the wild generally try to avoid humans. A bear rarely initiates an encounter with a person. In most cases of attacks, it is a mother bear with cubs that has been startled or an injured animal that has been cornered. Fact 56. If you encounter a bear in the forest, do not run. A bear instinctively chases fleeing prey. The best course of action? My tactic is to speak in a calm voice, slowly retreating while watching the animal. In most cases, it will leave on its own. Fact 57. The polar bear is the only bear species that regularly hunts humans as prey. This is an important distinction. Other species attack out of fear or in defense. The polar bear perceives an unfamiliar object as potential food. Fact 58. In the Arctic, polar bears meticulously clean their fur after each meal, using snow in winter and bathing in the sea during summer. They spend about 15 to 20 minutes a day on hygiene. Dirty fur loses its insulating properties, which is critical in Arctic frost. Fact 59. Polar bears can hold their breath underwater for up to 2 minutes. They benefit from having a large lung capacity, a high concentration of oxygen-binding proteins in their muscles, and a slow heart rate while submerged. Fact 60. The polar bear hunts seals at breathing holes in the ice. It can lie still for hours next to a hole, waiting for a seal to surface for air. One swipe of its paw and the prey is caught. This is a hunt that requires patience. Fact 61. Bears are capable of deception. This is a specific behavior that requires a theory of mind, an understanding that another creature lacks certain knowledge. Bears pretend not to notice food when competitors are nearby, and will approach it later when those competitors have left. Fact 62. Bears play even as adults, especially in the water. They splash around, roll on their backs, and push each other. Play in adult animals is a sign of developed intelligence, which is rare among large predators. Fact 63. Bears produce sounds remarkably similar to human crying, particularly cubs. If a cub gets lost or frightened, its wail is truly heart-wrenching. It's no coincidence that bears have become the prototypes for children's stuffed toys. Fact 64. The teddy bear is named after US President Theodore Roosevelt. In 1902, he refused to shoot a tied-up bear during a hunt, calling it dishonorable. Newspapers mocked the situation with cartoons, and soon teddy bears were on sale. Fact 65. In the mythology of many cultures around the world, the bear holds a special place. Among Slavs, it was the master of the forest, so revered that its real name became taboo. The word for bear literally means the one who knows honey. This is an euphemism, a substitution for the forbidden name. Fact 66. Among the Scandinavians, berserkers, warriors entering a battle trance, literally meant bear shirts, referring to those clad in bearskins. The bear symbolized fury, strength, and fearlessness in battle. Fact 67. The name Arthur, according to one version, derives from the Celtic word for bear. The legendary King Arthur could be the Bear King. Names like Bjorn among Scandinavians, Bern among Germans, and Ursula among Romans all mean bear. Fact 68. The coat of arms of Berlin features a bear. According to one version, the name of the city also comes from the German word Bär, meaning bear. Bears appear on the coats of arms and flags of dozens of cities and regions around the world. Fact 69. The 79th fact. After a successful hunt, a polar bear can consume up to 100 pounds of food in one sitting. This ability is crucial for their survival, as they often go through periods of food scarcity. Polar bears have adapted to this by developing a unique feeding strategy, allowing them to gorge themselves when prey is abundant. The 80th fact. Bears are known for their incredible sense of smell, which is estimated to be 7 times stronger than that of a bloodhound. They can detect food from miles away, which helps them locate prey and forage efficiently. The 81st fact. In many cultures, bears symbolize strength and courage. They are often featured in folklore and mythology, representing both the wildness of nature and the power of survival. The 82nd fact. Bears can run at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour over short distances. This surprising speed allows them to escape threats or catch prey when necessary. The 83rd fact. Despite their large size, bears are capable swimmers and can cover long distances in water. Their body structure, with large paws and a streamlined shape, aids in their swimming ability. The 84th fact. Their populations are affected by climate change, particularly polar bears, whose habitats are rapidly diminishing due to melting ice in the Arctic. Conservation efforts are crucial to protect these majestic creatures and their ecosystems. The 85th fact. Bears have a complex social structure, particularly in species like the American black bear. They can exhibit social behaviors such as play and communication, especially among mothers and their cubs. The 86th fact. Bears experience a state of torpor during hibernation, which is different from true hibernation. They can wake up more easily and may even leave their dens during warmer spells. The 87th fact. The diet of bears is highly varied, consisting of fruits, nuts, leaves, and even fish, depending on the species and the season. This omnivorous diet allows them to adapt to different environments and food availability. The 88th fact. Bears are known to be intelligent animals, capable of problem-solving and using tools. This intelligence plays a key role in their survival strategies, whether in foraging for food or navigating their environment. The 89th fact. Cubs are born blind and helpless, relying entirely on their mother for care and nourishment. Over time, they learn essential survival skills by observing and mimicking their mother's behavior. The 90th fact. The average lifespan of a bear varies by species, with some living up to 30 years in the wild, while others may live longer in captivity due to the absence of natural threats and access to regular food. They're able to consume up to 45 kilograms of meat at once. After that, they may not eat for several days. This strategy of gorging is typical for predators whose prey is unpredictable. Fact 80. Bears can read the behavior of other animals and birds. Crows and magpies often follow bears, waiting for scraps of their kills. In turn, bears sometimes track the crows. The birds circle over carcasses or fresh prey. This is mutually beneficial scouting. Fact 81. The potential of the polar bear as a species is under threat. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, by mid-century, the polar bear population could decline by more than a third. The reason is the melting of Arctic ice, which serves as a platform for hunting. Fact 82. Brown bears once inhabited nearly all of Europe. By the 10th century, they had been exterminated in most of the Western continent. Today, small populations remain in the mountains of Spain, Italy, Romania, and Scandinavia. Fact 83. Japan is home to a special subspecies of brown bear known as the Ezo bear, which resides on Hokkaido Island. For the Ainu, the indigenous people of Hokkaido, the bear held a central place in their culture and religion. They conducted a sacred ritual involving a bear raised in the village, which was then ceremonially sent to the spirit world. Fact 84. Bears often use the same trails from generation to generation. These bear trails become so well trodden that they remain visible in the forest for decades. Their paws step into the same tracks. Young bears literally walk in the footsteps of their ancestors. Fact 85. Bears navigate vast territories. The range of a single brown bear can span from 100 to 1,000 square kilometers. Throughout this area, the animal remembers every berry patch, every stream, and every fallen tree with larvae. Fact 86. Bears communicate with each other not only through growls. They use sounds like grunts, snorts, and quiet howls, as well as scent marking, body postures, and physical contact. Researchers have identified several dozen different signals among brown bears. Fact 87. Bears living near humans adapt to our schedules. In areas with active tourism, bears shift to a nocturnal lifestyle to avoid people during the day. This behavioral adaptation occurs over the course of 1 or 2 generations. Fact 88. In some regions of Alaska and British Columbia, the Kermode bear, or spirit bear, a rare white-black bear, can be found. This is not an albino. The white coloration is caused by a recessive gene. Among the indigenous peoples of the Pacific Northwest, it was considered a sacred animal. Fact 89. Bears take baths with insects. There have been observations of bears intentionally sitting on anthills, allowing the insects to crawl over their fur. It is believed that formic acid repels parasites. A similar behavior is seen in birds, referred to as ant bathing. Fact 90. Bears have a well-developed sense of play throughout their lives. Even older males have been observed in their playful antics in the snow, sliding down hills or splashing in rivers. Bears exhibit behavior that seems devoid of practical purpose. This is a rarity for large predators. I remember as a child seeing a bear at the zoo and thinking, what a boring animal. It just walked back and forth. Now I understand that it wasn't the bear's boredom, it was the boredom of captivity. In the wild, a bear is one of the most active and curious creatures in the forest. Fact 91. Bears participate in the ecosystem as gardeners. By eating berries and nuts, they disperse seeds over large distances through their digestive tract. Some of these seeds germinate in the places where the bear has carried them, along with the remnants of its food. Fact 92. Bears enrich mountain rivers with nutrients. When they catch salmon from the water and eat it on the shore, marine nutrients enter the forest soil. This process is known as marine subsidy, transporting nutrients from the ocean inland. Fact 93. The bear's brain is relatively large for its body size. The brain-to-body weight ratio in bears is about the same as that in cats and dogs. However, the bear's brain structure is more developed in areas responsible for long-term memory and spatial thinking. Fact 94. Bears can play dead. When threatened by a larger predator, a brown bear may lie still, slow its breathing, and wait. There have been cases where an animal thought to be dead got up and walked away after a few hours. Fact 95. Bears are wary of unfamiliar smells. The scent of a human usually drives a bear away rather than prompting an attack. This is why forest rangers advise making noise in the woods. If a bear hears a person from a distance, it will leave well before an encounter occurs. Fact 96. The giant panda is listed as a vulnerable species. As of 2016, its status improved from endangered to vulnerable. Thanks to successful breeding programs in captivity and the restoration of bamboo forests in China, there are now around 1,800 wild pandas in the world. Fact 97. The Malayan bear is the least studied of all 8 bear species. It leads a secretive, nocturnal life in hard-to-reach tropical forests. Scientists still know very little about its reproduction, lifespan, and social behavior in the wild. Fact 98. Bears can consume fermented fruits and behave as if they were intoxicated. There have been recorded instances of bears gorging on overripe berries and exhibiting unsteady behavior, losing their coordination. This is an incidental but regular occurrence. Fact 99. In India, a bear named Gubak was trained to guard villages against tigers. Its aggressiveness and lack of fear of large cats made it unexpectedly effective as a protector. Instances of bear training have been documented among various Asian cultures long before circus traditions emerged. And finally, fact 100. The bear is one of the few wild animals that humanity has neither been able to fully domesticate nor completely eradicate. It has survived glacial periods, the extinction of megafauna, and millennia of hunting. It is present in myths and stories across cultures, symbolizing resilience and strength. In the coats of arms, names, and children's toys of every nation alongside which it lived. Even today, in the 21st century, the bear continues to roam its paths precisely where its ancestors walked thousands of years ago. 100 facts. Yet, it still feels like we have barely scratched the surface, because the bear is an entire world. 8 species, dozens of subspecies, thousands of years of shared history with humans. An animal that is both a symbol of wild power and a soft toy in a child's crib. A predator that feasts on berries, a solitary creature that remembers you for years. It is perhaps the most human-like of all non-human beings on the planet. And here lies the answer to the question about its sense of smell. The sharpest sense of smell belongs to the polar bear, capable of detecting scents from 32 kilometers away, compared to just 20 for the brown bear. The winner in the realm of scents is the master of the Arctic. This is the bear, strong, intelligent, an ancient beast that we have both feared and revered, hunted and protected. Despite all this, it still gazes at us from the forest, deciding whether to stay or leave. If you found this information useful, I would appreciate your support. The Umani number is in the description. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the Wild World channel. New videos about animals and nature are released here every week, and the next one is sure to surprise you.